It's the girl Ella. Let's go. Thank you for tuning in to Aries season. Today I'm gonna be doing a story time because I'm sure I will get a lot of questions or rude comments coming in the future. So I just wanted to, nip that in the bud. I'll be doing a story time about what happened to my eye. Now I am visually impaired. What that means, if you don't know, visually impaired just means that you have lost a certain percentage of vision. Sometimes you're not able to drive or things like that. I probably at this point would not be able to drive, and that's something that I've coped with for a while. However, it's been a very long journey. I'll do a few different parts to story times because it would be too much to put into one story, but I think it would be really fun and therapeutic to talk about, and it kind of will get a lot of the questions out of the way. So we're gonna start with when I was 16. I just noticed that when I closed this eye, my left eye, I only saw kind of like half of the room, and it was really weird. So I kept complaining to my mom, just like, hey, sorry, my best friend's cooking. But yeah, I kind of noticed that I only saw half of the room, and it was just something strange. I thought I needed glasses. I went eventually to a doctor to get glasses, and when I got there, they were like, oh, we can't read her eye pressure. Eye pressure is basically like a number. It will let you know if you have astigmatism, blindness, things like that. And they blow like smoke or puff, they puff smoke into your eyes, and it's very hard to stay still. But I was unable to do it. They were unable to read my number, and so they suggested me to a specialist. And when they suggested me to a specialist, it was for glaucoma. Now, if you don't know, glaucoma is an eye disease, and it basically causes blindness. That's what it is. I know in social media, in the world, even before I even heard about glaucoma affecting me personally, I heard it as far as like smoking ganja being funny, just like as a joke, but it is something that's serious, and it does affect people. Could be close to you, could be near you. I think Fetty Wap actually has glaucoma, so that's just to show you how severe it can be. Anyways, I went to a specialist where they thought I may have glaucoma, and when I got there, she let me know, you do have glaucoma, and it was pretty aggressive for my age because I was young. I was only 16, and so I was kind of told, like, you have the eyes of an 80-year-old, and I had to have emergency surgery the next day. And it was with a laser. It was painful, but it was nothing compared to like what I would go through in the future. But I had that surgery, and my vision was kind of still the same. I appeared normal, and but within like a few weeks actually, she could see that that wasn't enough. And so I went to a specialist, another specialist at a hospital that kind of handle these things aggressively, and I had to have 2 more surgeries. In that third surgery in total, I lost all vision in this eye, and it was very scary because you go from being normal and having a regular life to now you're dealing with not being able to see at all. And so when I close this eye, I don't see anything. I know that I have lights and things like that in my setup. I cannot see any of it. I cannot see the camera, and I had a lens removed. It's a lot of detail. I'll probably get to that in further videos, but that caused my eye to be lazy. And so sometimes throughout recording and things like that, you'll notice that my eyes probably roaming, and it definitely made this eye smaller than this one. And it's not something that I'm ashamed to talk about, because I feel like I'd rather just put it out there, and I should be completely blind, just because that's how severe my condition was. And you know, when I've argued with women, or I've argued with girls, should I say, because if you're not a woman if you do things like that. But you know, women have made jokes about me. I've been called Fetty Wap. I've been called all kind of names. But I feel like those things cannot break me, and I am still a beautiful woman, and I feel good about myself. But it was definitely a battle. In high school, I had to wear, this happened probably in 9th grade. I had to wear eye patches. I had to wear like a half face mask to protect my eye. When I would get into arguments, girls would say that they would slap my other eye out of my head. But I never got tried in that way. But you know, people would just pick on you and use things to criticize me, and for a while it did hurt my feelings. But the most hurtful things were things that I had to go through myself. I always thought that I wanted to be a makeup artist or a hairstylist, and going through periods of blindness, it was very difficult because I did not know what I was going to do with myself without being able to see. There's a lot more to this story, but I'm going to break it up into maybe 2 or 3 parts, because there was a period of me being completely blind, which really I would have to go into detail, but I just wanted to kind of get an initial video out there so that if I receive comments, or I don't care if people say hurtful things about me, nothing that I haven't heard. All I can say about that is I've never met a guy and he said he didn't want to talk to me because my eye was a little lazy. Never. And I'm not saying that they won't exist. I'm just saying that I haven't met them. But you know, the second part that I want to bring to this is just like how to cope with being different. We are all so different, and I think that in the past, before this happened, myself included, I may not have understood what people go through just with their differences. And so me having now a lazy eye, being blind, it brought a whole new perspective to me. And you never know what other people are going through. Just for most people looking at me, they feel like this is small. A lot of times I have been criticized for it, but to other people, they wish that this was the least of their worry. They wish that this was, you know, the vein of their existence. So I'm not complaining because I'm grateful. But it's just coping with being different. If there's anything about you that is different, or that people make fun of, or that they don't understand, I would just say that instead of being depressed or angry or hurt, you know, I used to be very shy. I wouldn't look people in their eyes. I wouldn't look directly into cameras, because if you see my eye, sometimes it tends to roam, or it looks dark, like it's completely closed for a period of time. In 9th and 10th grade, it was completely shut like this. And so people thought I had one eye. And you know, all of those weird, mean comments that when you think back, people are they're just kids. And they're just going to say anything. Sometimes it's to make themselves feel better. Sometimes it's just to make you feel bad. Sometimes it's just intentional. Some people are just not thinking. But I would say, instead of dwelling on those comments, think about where you've come from. For me, dealing with, I do have glaucoma, which means I have an eye disease that ultimately tries to take my vision. And when I think about that, it's like I've had over 8 surgeries. I'm a warrior. I'm strong. And instead of thinking about the negative things that a guy might say or a girl might say to hurt my feelings, I should think about how strong I am and what I've been through. And you are still beautiful. You are still kind to people. And it sounds cliche, but those are the things that give people real value. And I just feel like we're all brought here, not to get too deep, but we're all brought here to bring a different perspective. And I feel like I'm honored for me to be chosen to be able to demonstrate pushing past whatever it is that people might say about me. So if there's anything that makes you feel less than, or that people try to use against you to make you feel less than, or that you're not as beautiful as you are, think about the other thing. Think about how you've made it through so much already. There's so much that I can say about being blind. There's so many hardships. I've had to deal with tears of feeling like I may never drive, or feeling that I may never be able to see again, or feeling like I just may never get back to a place of being normal. There was a period of time where I didn't feel beautiful. There was a time when I had to drop out of college. And even with all of those things, I still have friends that love me. I still have guys that dated me and find me beautiful. I still have so much, and there's always something for you to be grateful for and just to be happy. But I just kind of wanted to start this off. This is definitely just a small starter of my story of dealing with glaucoma and blindness. But just to start off, because I know that I will get questions as I continue on with my channel. And so I just kind of wanted to put it out there because I don't want any hate comments. Not that I care, but you know, sometimes you might have a bad day and it can be hurtful. And it's just like, instead of saying something nasty about somebody, realize that they do have a story. And that's even if someone looks completely normal. You may say something that can be triggering, that can trigger anxiety, that can trigger panic. And so, you know, I'm the tough ass that will kind of put you in your place about that, because I'm not going to be depressed about things that you say to me or anybody else. So, you know, I'm okay. I definitely have my days, but I'm okay. And I appreciate all the love and support that I do receive from my friends, from my family, from my mom. And yeah, you know, I feel great about who I am, but I want other people to just know what's going on. If you have any questions, or if you see my eye kind of roaming off, or if they look two different sizes, that's what happens, sis. Something happens to all of us, happens to the best of us. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll be doing a part 2 soon with more details about exactly what happened to my eye, sis. Because you know, I know I'll be getting the comments like, what happened to her eye? Why is one eye bigger than the other? Her lashes look crooked. It's like, no. So thanks guys for watching. Bye.